Now, last time in I escaped the Winchester. I escaped the Winchester haunted house. We learned about Jesse is our main character, and how is his relationship with his dad?
Really good. No,
It's pretty bad. He is doesn't really feel like his dad listens to him and gives him a chance to explain what's going on, and his dad basically thwarted what he was going to do. He got in a fight with his brother Pete, and dad took Pete's side from his point of view, right? All right. So we ended with Pete Stretch showing off his famous pitcher forearms. Enjoy your weekend. He sauntered off. From downstairs, Dad shouted, "And clean your room. The place looks like a pigsty." Jesse took quick stock of his bedroom. It looked like it always did, like a bomb had blown apart his closet. Okay, so Dad had him there. Still, at least the wall. Whoops. We already talked about the World's Fair. Where am I? Goodness gracious. Sorry about that. He'd planned to start his new career tonight by taking pictures inside the Winchester house, the weirdest house in America. He hoped he could even get a photo in the paper. That was off now, though. Frustrated, he flapped onto his bed, legs dangling. Pete never got punished. He knew how to get around Dad, because, like Dad before him, Pete had made star pitcher on the San Jose High School's baseball team. His fastballs had hit 85, and every time he scored a strikeout, Dad yelled, "Way to go, son!" Also, Pete was a crack shot with Gramps' Winchester hunting rifle. Dad treasured that hunting rifle because Gramps helped design it. He told them a million times how famous it was, the gun that won the West. Dad thought it was a supreme honor when he allowed Pete and Jesse to take it hunting. But Jesse wasn't a great shot, not even a good shot. Whenever they headed to Saugeen Marsh for a day of wildfowl hunting, Pete brought down at least 2 flying geese, one for dinner and one that Mom would preserve for later. Every time, Dad cheered, "Well done, son. Way to go, Pete." Jesse had never brought down a flying goose in his life, not even when great flocks filled the sky. He missed every one. Dad called him blind as a bat. Of course, or Pete called him blind, not Dad. Pete called him blind as a bat. Of course, Pete never got into trouble for saying that. It wasn't Jesse's fault for being nearsighted. He rubbed his eyes, annoyed at the unfairness. "No way am I staying in my room tonight," he muttered. "I'm sneaking into that spooky Winchester house no matter what. I've been planning this for weeks. I'm going to borrow Dad's Kodak brownie and take pictures of the weirdest stuff I can find. I'll be the first one to take pictures in there, and no one's going to stop me. And when I get my pictures in the paper, even Dad and Pete will be impressed."
Or we're going to be like, "You stole my Kodak brownie?"
Chapter 3, Jesse's home 2 minutes later. Jesse stood staring out his bedroom window, mulling over his plans. Dark clouds massed on the horizon, and dry trees stood like skeletons, their brittle limbs rattling in the wind. Across the fields, he could just make out the Winchester house's Gothic-looking turrets and domes. What a weird place, 7 stories high. And tonight, all 160 rooms and miles of zigzagging hallways were empty. Dad was the building foreman, and he said Sarah Winchester was out of town. The builders, who normally worked day and night around the clock building the place, had been given a break. It was the perfect night to sneak in. Jesse could hardly wait. Emma, on the other hand, wasn't quite so keen. Still, she'd said yes, adding that he'd need her brains in case he got into trouble. He grinned. She'd been joking, but she'd gotten them out of a few jams in the past. He tended to charge into things full speed ahead, which didn't always end well. She, on the other hand, liked to puzzle things out first. Anyway, as long as they weren't chased by angry spirits, they'd be fine. He didn't actually believe the stories that ghosts haunted the house because they were angry at the family who invented the Winchester repeating rifles. According to Dad, though, Sarah Winchester believed it. She thought they wanted to kill her and take their revenge on her family. That's why Mrs. Winchester kept building so many rooms, halls, and stairwells to confuse the spirits so they couldn't find her. She even slept in a different bedroom each night to escape them. A breeze sent a brown, leathery leaf skittering through his open window. It twirled toward his face, making him jump back. As he swatted it aside, a loud crack made his heart shudder. Was that a rifle? No, just a branch breaking in the wind. Something shuffled under his bed and he turned quickly. Sniffer. Jesse's black lab stuck out his nose. Sniffer didn't like it when Dad yelled. Jesse let out his breath he didn't know he'd been holding. How do people not know they're holding their breath?
I've done that.
Why do
before.
so many authors use that line?
I've done that before. Like I'm watching a movie and I'm like, oh, I forgot I'm holding my breath. Like it just happens. You're just,
Okay.
like, your
No. Oh my
brain
gosh.
does it. You forget
So
how to
many
do it.
authors use that. She let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. What? Oh, okay. I guess it happens. Fine. Hey, boy, ready for a big adventure? Sniffer cocked his head. At the Winchester house? Sniffer responded with a low whine, tucking his chin between his paws. Usually Sniffer was up for an action. Tonight, he didn't seem too into it. It'll be neat, Sniffer, I promise. As long as they don't get caught. Otherwise, he'd be grounded for the rest of the year. He ran his fingers through his cropped brown hair. He'd have to wait until Mom and Dad were asleep, after 11 at least. He just hoped Emma would still be up for it. He didn't like the idea of going alone. Only one way to find out. It's like time to go.